Oh, by the way, guys, this is probably an amazing interview question where they check to see how you use logic to figure out a problem like that, right? So make sure you learn and understand everything that's going on here. So what we need to do is circle every single row in our collection of rows, right? So for every single row, we need to read every single cell and get its value. You guys see that? Read its cell and get its value. Once we figure out that we have software development engineer in test value, we need to note that row. And once we know this row and we know the header here, we can use the headers index, which is this number 3, and the rows index to figure out where this value lives. And as we step through the code, hopefully it would make more sense to you guys. This is all actually good. So let's take a look here at the code first, and then we'll step through it. So for every tr, right, row in our collection of rows.count, we're going to do a normal loop. We're going to increment. And we're going to start tr at 0. And the very first thing we need to do is set the row equal to collection of rows and then the index. So if we start at 0, this row variable is going to become our first row. In this case, it would be 0, which would be the headers row. Then as we circle to the next one, this guy would become this row, just so we know which row we're working on and we have that stored inside of a variable. Okay? So when we get that single row that we're going to work with for this loop iteration, we need to get all of the cells in that row. And to do that, so let's actually do that right now. So if we're looking at a row, so if we get this first row, right, we are in the first iteration of the loop. You guys see I put tr1 here. Now we're working with this row. How do we get all of its title headers? Well, that's simple. So you do the dot. And so now we found all of the table headers. But remember that the table headers only live in the first row. In the second row, we got table data that lives. So we need something better than this locator. Well, what if we just did a star here? Would that work? Of course it would. It would select it would select our first row, and then after that, whatever lives inside of that, it doesn't matter. It can be a star. Take a look at the second row. Boom. You guys see that? Selects every single cell inside of that. So over here, this is what our XPath query does. In fact, we don't even need this dot here. And so this will get us all of the cells, right? So now we have the row, and inside of the row, we have every single cell.